Welcome to Book Thots, brand lifestyle podcast. We are thoughts for books, and these are our thoughts on books. I'm Jenna.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Adriana.
Three sisters stripping down one book at a time. Today we're continuing ACOMAF with chapters 45 through 51.
Before we jump in, we do have a content warning. Today's podcast is rated mature. We are book thoughts after all, so we are going to be using adult language, talking about adult topics. So please pay attention to who may be listening near you. Additionally, this episode will include spoilers for all 5 books. Each episode we will focus on specific chapters, but our conversation will include the entire series. Lastly, I'm just going to apologize ahead of time. Maybe we, but definitely Emily and Jenna, are going to at least mispronounce a name or place. Emily will be leading this strip down, so strip it down, girl.
Strip it down, girl. Strip it down, girl. Strip it down, girl.
Did you hear how out of breath I was there?
Well, it's not really you.
Yeah, it's the baby.
Walking into Walmart when I was pregnant with Hollis and I had to find somewhere and sit down. I was like, this is pathetic. I can't make it through the parking lot.
I went to Costco today and I walked around and I was like, I think I'm either going to collapse from exhaustion or the fact is I'm never going to make it home.
I went to Costco the day before I gave birth to Emerson, and my Costco card is like that picture, and I was like,
That's rough, man.
I had the little cart to go around because I was so tired. I was like so set that we needed to get a Costco membership so we could get our formula and diapers from it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't buy diapers or formula from there one time. If you look at the picture though, it's like, wow, she looks like she's a day before giving labor. And I'm like, it's accurate. Because
that's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is. I remember being like walking into the store from the parking lot and being like, get me a scooter, Jordan. I am just
I am white.
Done. Yeah. All right, let's strip it down, shall we, ladies?
I'm ready.
Oh, should we do a Marshall's Brewing thing real quick?
Yeah, there you go.
Hello.
What?
That's perfect.
Look at that. Marshall's Brewing merch.
Absolutely perfect.
You know, you can get your very own Marshall's hat, and you can get a discount if you go to their website and use Book Thots 10 only on merch purchases.
Okay, we better get started or we're never going to bed. Chapter 45. After a night of dancing, Feyre finds herself in the middle of a freezing Illyrian war camp, a place I think most readers wouldn't mind the view. Feyre winnowed with more Cassian and Rhys not far behind. She spent most of the morning thinking about how close her and Rhys danced the night before and how she was a traitor with a capital T for doing so. Tamlin had given so much and done so much for her family. How could she move on? She is distracted from her thoughts as she assesses the very cold and sad war camp. There is no joy here. Moore hates this place too, or even more. And the camp director, Devlin, is it Devlin or Devlin?
It's Devlin, but that's in a movie, and they call it taking a Devlin because it's a shit, and he's a shit. Thank you. Goodbye.
The movie is called Just Go With It, with Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler. The two pretend to be in love so that he can be in love with the one that he truly thinks he likes. And the camp director, Devlin, isn't making it any more likable with his less than warm welcome. He greets the bunch with several other Illyrian warriors, all with only one stone for siphoning power, and I can only assume small dicks. Rhys commands him to clear his mother's house for them to stay and reprimands him for not training the female soldiers before their chores. Cassian growls in agreement. Devlin notices Feyre and looks a bit disgusted. Rhys takes the time to speak in a voice so loud the whole camp can hear and mark Feyre as a threat. Then he grabs Feyre's hand, declaring they will be gone. They're going to go train. And they do go train, but it's not really the training that is important here, it's the history lesson. We all love a history lesson. And today's topics, training Illyrian females, the blood right, and Tamlin/Rhysand's complicated relationship. First subject, easy. Rhysand ordered the Illyrian generals to train women. Some listened, then Amarantha happened. They backslid hard, started clipping their wings again hard. And now Devlin is like the only one still sticking to training them again. Second subject, the blood right. So basically, to become an Illyrian soldier, you're dropped onto a forest of doom, told to get to the top of a mountain and try not to die on your way as you fight other warriors every step of the way. If you're successful, then you become an Illyrian soldier. Third subject. Tamlin and Rhys sort of became friends. Rhysand even showed him some Illyrian warrior tactics. Tamlin's father still didn't trust Rhysand though, so he went with Tamlin and Tamlin's brothers and killed Rhysand's mom and sister, which they only knew where to find them thanks to Rhysand trusting Tamlin. Then Rhysand's dad wanted vengeance. They went to the Spring Court Manor, and Rhysand killed the brothers while his dad killed Tamlin's mom and dad. Still bloodthirsty, Rhysand's dad was about to go kill Tamlin when Rhysand stopped him. That bit of hesitation gave Tamlin time to kill Rhysand's dad. With both dads dead, the power of the High Lord passed to Tamlin and Rhysand. Now, keep in mind, during this entire history lesson, Feyre has been showing off her powers, which have progressed a ton. But in the sadness of the stories, she realizes why Rhysand did what he did, why he didn't want to be compared to Tamlin. While looking at Rhysand in a completely different light, she says, "I want to paint you." He responds with, "Preferably naked." Ooh la la, paint me like one of your French girls. I don't know why, but putting this hat on has raised the temperature in this room to about 5,000 degrees.
You might have to remove
Okay,
it.
I can't. It's an ad. So Feyre,
No skips in this subscription.
no. Feyre describes the camp saying there was no warmth here, no joy. And it just got me thinking how much influence a single person can have on another, because this is where Rhys, Az, and Cassian all grew up, yet they all became wonderful people that we've known to love. And for Rhys, I feel like it was his mom. For Cassian and Az, maybe it would be the same answer plus Rhys. Like, it's crazy to me how the three of them found each other and became good people.
Later, we meet a few more good people that come out of the Illyrian camps. They are female, but they're still good.
But also, she didn't come from the camp. She just came from being Illyrian, right?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I think her dad owns a shop. I brought up a point
good.
that I have no knowledge about.
Either way, good people can come from just the Illyrian culture in general. The stone comparison for siphoning power, for some reason, makes me think of penguins. And here, let me explain that connection real quick because you might be confused. There's like a breed of penguins that when it's time for mating, they go find like the perfect stone for their mate and they present that stone to them to try to win them over. And I guess the only connection is there's two stones and there's a stone in each storyline.
There's stones present, and obviously
Yes.
Cassian and Azriel have more, so they're better. Yeah.
Exactly. You get it, Jenna. You get it. And I do have Devlin, he in here because I too thought of the Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston movie, Just Go With It, because in that they say taking a Devlin because it's like her college friend that she hates, so she told her kids that's what it means when you have to go poop. Instead of saying I got to crap, they say I got to go take a Devlin.
Hilarious.
Now, the serious questions. Are there any holes in Tamlin and Rhys' story? Because we all have heard, like, is Rhys's sister still alive and all of that stuff before. So do you think this is actually what happened? Rhys does say their heads was sent down river, so I feel
Yeah.
like, did he see the heads? I mean, that seems like when we say we always like
Yeah.
a death receipt, that seems like a death receipt to me.
I'm under the influence that they're dead. Like dead. I don't think they just got their wings
Yeah, they
clipped
could be.
and hidden somewhere. I think they gone.
If it was just the wings, I would be questionable. about it.
Yeah. Because we know they can survive that. I did want to point out that it says, Rhys says Tamlin's brothers already knew he was going to take over for High Lord. So I'm wondering if there was some like weird plot with the brothers to like get Tamlin killed by Rhys and make it look like he's the one betraying Rhys to kill the mom and sister.
It could have out of jealousy.
Did Tamlin already show the strength that he was going to be the next High Lord, or was it already being shown because, like, whatever power or magic chooses the next High Lord already knew his brothers were going to die? So, was it showing he was the next High Lord because it almost foresaw the future, or because he was powerful?
Who knows?
It could have been a little bit of both. I don't know.
The Cauldron always
That's
knows.
a good question because Truly, the cauldron just knows.
That's crazy. I don't know. Is fate real?
So it's like they played into their own fate and destiny before they realized, like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have.
Can anyone actually
I,
fight fate?
I don't actually think, though, that Tamlin just straight up betrayed Rhysand. I think there is more to that.
Yeah, I also want to give Tamlin the benefit of the doubt there. He didn't like his dad growing up. He knew his dad was bad. There's no way he would want to kill a mother and like we don't really know how old Reese's sister is at that point, but he wouldn't want to kill two women, I don't think.
Now, if he was collecting taxes and they weren't paying up, maybe.
Maybe. Who knows, shit or get off the pot, Tamlin. You can't have it both
All
It's
right.
ways.
surprising to me how much he doesn't want to just like change tradition.
It's so weird. He
rule differently. But he relies so heavily on like Ianthe and even just like his court appearing a certain way, and
he has such a weird
it ruins
blind
it.
spot. It's just like he wants progression, but at the same time he craves tradition.
He fights it. I think that's honestly why he hates his role so much. Because like if you look at the nature of Tamlin underneath all those layers, like he does have some good. I'm not justifying anything about this man, but I'm just saying that like there is potential of him trying to do better within his court and for his people, but he doesn't want to acknowledge what needs to be done. Like he's so uptight when it comes to those traditions.
Yeah.
It doesn't help anybody.
Wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole, but I do believe he's not wholly bad. Chapter 46. Ice Ice Baby is playing in the back of Feyre's mind as she sits at dinner with Rhys, Cassian, and more. This Illyrian war camp is freezing. Turns out this is done on purpose. They always choose a tough climate so they can weed out the weak ones. Dinner isn't anything crazy. Cassian made stew. The conversation isn't wild either. Moore talks about how training the girls went and her trip to the hewn city the next day. The real craziness is Feyre's walk upstairs to bed with Rhys. There's death tension, and it feels like she might act on it, but she still feels like a traitor, traitor, traitor for this even crossing her mind. She closes the door and goes to bed without a second look at Rhysand. Her conflicting feelings continue the next day as she is out training in the middle of nowhere with Rhysand. They've gone to an even more remote location so that no one can see them and she can't hurt anyone. As she's walking to a spot close to a stream, she can feel Rhysand's hot gaze on her. She also swears she can almost feel him on the other side of her mental shields, purring and waiting to pounce. She gives him a vulgar gesture. She gets to her spot, and all of a sudden, she is surrounded by 4 Spring Court soldiers and 1 Lucian. So she's freezing in this chapter. What's the coldest you guys have ever been? I can start. I
Yeah.
one time went snowboarding where the wind chills were like -20, and it was still fun, but when you went down the mountain, it's like when you drink a smoothie or a shake too, you get a brain freeze. I was legitimately getting a brain freeze from the holes in my helmet going through. It was like freezing my mind. That part was not fun.
I've probably been colder, but the first thing that comes to mind is a soccer game that we played where it was freezing rain, and when the freezing rain would hit the turf, it would like melt a little and then connect and make ice balls onto the turf. So we were wet and cold and freezing, and anytime you slid, you got so cut up. I was real cold that game.
Really have got no worst case scenario kind of thing. Like I've done like kind of what you guys have done where you've jumped in like a freezing thing of water, but like that's not I don't feel like that's really the coldest.
And it's so
Yeah, I don't
temporary.
know.
Like what she's talking about
Mm-hmm.
feels like more of like a chill to the bone.
To the bone, yeah.
I feel really bad for these Illyrian women. I cannot imagine just having my wings cut off just because I am a woman. And that kind of goes back to Adriana talking last episode about how SJM just kind of brings up, yes, in real life, women aren't growing wings and cultures aren't cutting them off, but in other ways, things happen exactly like that.
Oh, they can't train because they have to do these chores, and they can only train once the chores are done. Well, if there weren't women at the camp, the chores would still be getting done. So why does it need to be their responsibility?
It's just mutilation and control over the gender
Yeah.
roles.
Like today's scenario, it kind of makes me think because the World Cup is going on right now, how it's funny to me that men's soccer for the United States is like so far behind because soccer kind of came here delayed, right? We haven't been doing it for generation to generation generations, and that puts us behind. But for women's soccer in the United States, we are generations ahead because we allowed women to play soccer a lot sooner than most other countries. And so that just goes to show the, I guess, how horrible it can be when you hold women back.
If only we can learn from history and just actually have an equal playing field there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening anytime soon. But hey, we can vote. Feyre feeling like a
For now.
yeah,
Fuck.
TBD.
Ah. All right.
Feyre feeling like a traitor, do you think she is justified in this? Do you think she should feel like a traitor? Do you think she's being too hard on herself?
I feel like it's justified in the fact of her inner turmoil being that she cares about this individual, but she hates the restraints. She hates, feeling that what happened under the mountain kind of broke them and it changed who they were and how they kind of molded together. And knowing that no matter what she asked or needed of him, he never was willing to truly change and give her what she needed. And so I feel like that's hard going through that almost like breakup in a sense, like that you gave your heart away to this guy. But like at the same time, like she's not also acknowledging that these feelings that she's had for Reese have been there a longer time. And it's not, I don't want to say it's easy, but I do feel like their connection is something you can't ignore. And the whole time she was with Tamlin, about to marry him, all she wanted was that fear of like, when's the mating bond going to snap into place? When am I going to feel like this is the right decision? It's not really anything she's questioned with this guy she's been flirting with for quite a long time now, and just how easy and just how natural it feels. It's kind of sad that she is still beating herself up, but I feel like it's natural in the progression of how she's coming to terms with things.
I definitely understand those thoughts going through your mind. Oh, what am I doing? I gave my heart for this guy. I killed people for this man. Like everybody saw me fight for his love, and now I'm just dropping that and moving on, and I love someone else now, and I get why she has these thoughts. I in no way think that they are justified. I think it's when you get in your own head and you don't allow yourself to feel happiness that you deserve. Sometimes you just grow out of relationships, and whether the other person realizes that along with you or not is not your fault.
It's true. Very true. Well said. It's only worse if you drag it out.
Yeah.
Because like your happiness is never going to, I guess, come back.
Come
I don't know.
about.
You gotta
Come about. Yeah, there you go.
It's not going to be there for either one of you.
Chapter 47. Lucian kicks off the conversation pretty solid with we've been hunting for you for over 2 months. What every girl wants to hear. He continues telling her they need to go home because Tamlin's not acting like himself. Feyre responds with, "That hasn't been my home since the day you let him lock me up." Lucian sort of apologizes, but then takes a step closer. Feyre knows if he reaches her, then he will winnow away to where Reese can't find her. He reaches out to grab her, and like black smoke, she's gone. Now standing beside Rhysand, who has put away his wings and the hypothetical mask from under the mountain back on. There's some back and forth between Lucian and Feyre with some interjection from Rhysand, but the bottom line, Lucian is a bad friend. His blind loyalty to Tamlin allowed Feyre to wither away. Feyre isn't going back to the Spring Court to be locked away as a pet. Lucian, somehow still dumbfounded by their circumstance, is like, is the Night Court really a better situation? Feyre responds, "When you spend so long trapped in darkness, Lucian, you find that the darkness begins to stare back." And the cherry on top to this declaration, there are giant Illyrian wings on her back. She has shapeshifted. Lucian is shook. Feyre makes one last declaration that she's not going back, and if anyone else tries to come find her, they forfeit their life. Lucian takes one final look at Rhysand and threatens that his court will end and then leaves. Feyre and Rhysand decide they need a new spot for training and take off. Rhysand is silently fuming at how poorly she had been treated at the spring court, and Feyre is realizing she probably feels like a traitor because it was too easy to close that chapter of her life. Rhysand breaks the tension by telling Feyre she looks good with wings and then kisses her brow. Does the description of Lucian's eye movements ever just like kind of like weird you out? Like what all does that eye see?
No, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of the golden spiral spinning eye.
I want to know what it sees. I want to know its abilities, its capabilities. I need to know.
Is that where Jurian's eye is now?
Okay, we've talked about this before on just why is Lucian so loyal to Tamlin, but this chapter makes me question that. And why does Lucian hate Rhysand so much? Tamlin hating Rhysand makes sense to me. They have a blood feud going on. They killed each other's parents and siblings and stuff like that. Makes sense. Checks out. Understood. Lucian hating Rhysand, he's almost more mean to Rhysand than Tamlin ever is. So why is he so angry with him? I don't get it. I don't understand.
So I think Feyre says something really interesting when she's monologuing. When she's thinking, she's like, Lucian is blindly loyal. But then she takes a step back and she's like, no, it's fear. He's scared of Tamlin. So what if he's loyal to Tamlin because he's scared, and then he's loyal to Rhysand because he hates Rhysand because he's so scared of Rhysand because he knows how much stronger he is than Tamlin. I don't know.
What if it's just a fear-based game? Then wouldn't he just like switch sides to Rhysand and be like, "Well, I am scared of Tamlin, but you're the strongest High Lord in the history, so I'm gonna be with you now."
No, I think him and Tamlin have like a odd relationship where
They're
Tamlin
mates.
relies on Lucian for someone to lean on and whine to, and Lucian has always ran there to be protected.
Because that is his best friend in a sense too.
We're gonna see, because
But we'll see.
I feel like there's some steps away from Tamlin happening as well.
Because at this point in time, I feel like they're almost terrified of Hybern, but in a different way than what Rhys is terrified of Hybern. And so, like, instead of like working together because they don't really have that alliance at the moment, like, it's just like it almost feeds into bringing the king in completely because he's destroying from within.
I think if
He's just making his path well known.
I think if your biggest fear is Hybern Keen taking over, then honesty would have done really well here. But that isn't I don't think that's Lucian's greatest fear. I think right now he's like Tamlin is a shell of himself and he's slipping away. Whatever
Yeah.
bromance and going back to his just awfully blind loyalty to Tamlin is, it's showing very highly here. I mean, he was willing to hunt down Feyre, supposedly his friend, and when she comes back to the Spring Court, still besties. But I would never ever talk to Lucian again. I'd rip that eye from its socket and squish it under my foot.
Lucian gets time and time again of like trial basically for me as a reader because I'm like, man, sometimes I really get annoyed with you.
I have never liked him less than this reread. Like, I think I saw him as kind
Mhm.
of a side character that I didn't pay much attention to because we don't have a ton of information. But this reread, I'm like, you might be my number one enemy. It's gonna take a lot for
But
me
he
to
does
forgive you.
grow.
Does he? Does
But it's
he?
still, it's just sometimes not enough.
I think, I don't know, I feel really bad for him because he thinks he's doing the right thing by being there for Tamlin. He thinks he's doing,
So does Tamlin.
yeah. I'm just saying, Lucian, he sees that he's like, I tried to help you, but he wouldn't listen. He's like this little
Hmm.
scared baby who doesn't want to step up and take charge and actually say something.
I don't want to have to say this, Jenna, but if you're a Lucian sympathizer, then you are a Tamlin sympathizer. The two go hand in hand.
Uh, I don't know.
I literally wrote down the outside of my quotes that this was like a trauma inducing chapter because it just hurts to know. But at the same time, I'm happy for her calling him out on not helping her more, on not just standing up to him more. Because, like you said, like, yes, he tried, but it was just a like, hey, Tamlin, maybe you should let her out. Maybe you should do some. Oh, okay, no, okay, got it, we're good.
Yeah. He could have.
Sorry, I suggested it. We won't bring it back up. Just wait a little bit longer, Feyre. It's okay. Just wait it out. And that just it rubbed me wrong so much. So I'm glad she called him out on it, and it just pissed Reese off even more because he was like, I out of everybody, I thought Lucian would have spoke
Does
up more for you.
He does say something that is interesting to me because he says, like, we needed to present a unified front because so much was going
Yeah,
on. And it makes me think, was there more going on that we don't know about? Like, was the unified front really just for the Spring Court? Was Tamlin already
fucking
talking to the
knows.
Hybern King? Like, why was a unified
Yeah,
front outweighing your friend literally wilting away?
There has to be
that's
something.
so
Yeah.
true.
Like Ianthe's brought the Hybern King in and is spying and everything. So that's why he's trying to hide Feyre's everything from everyone. But he trusts Ianthe, which just, I can't get into this.
At least Lucian doesn't trust her.
But he doesn't do
That's probably
anything to
the
get her
only good thing
out.
there.
He's not doing.
No, that he doesn't trust Ianthe to be like cozied up with Tamlin, but because Tamlin it completely
No,
ignores it.
I know. But what I was saying is Lucian's not doing anything to force Ianthe out of the Spring Court.
No,
He's literally,
no, he's not.
once again, just room temperature about everything going on around him.
I think that's why Tamlin actually pisses me off so much. I think it is because or did I say Tamlin? I don't know what I'm saying. I think that's why Lucian pisses me off so much because he is so room temperature. Tamlin, you can just like narrow down. This is what he did wrong. This is what I did not like about it. Lucian is like, I did not like that he did not do anything wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah.
like that he did not fight
Yeah,
enough.
Yep. That's probably why we can't put like a nail on what his character is either, is because he's never making any of those big moves. He's always staying in the middle. He's a little
He's
Quaker.
lukewarm. And he's also Jenna's favorite character along with Amarantha.
I
poor Jenna.
I will say that I haven't made my mind up about Lucian yet, but obviously I love Amarantha.
And for those of you a little confused, watch the first episode where Jenna says, I don't think she's as bad as they're saying that she is because she forgot, I guess, how the rest of the book went. Chapter 48. Ladies and gentlemen, in this chapter, we have an inn with only one room left. Shucks. And this room is way too small and only has one bed. It doesn't even have a fireplace to warm up the place. And who's checking into this inn with only a small little room left? Rhysand and Feyre. But before we get to the good stuff, a few things happen that should be noted. Feyre looks at Rhysand and wants to paint again. Rhysand thanks her for not looking at him like he's a monster whose powers should be feared. Feyre comes to terms that she did in fact once love Tamlin, and a small part of her might always love Tamlin, but they are no longer a fit. Rhysand explains how great his power is and that using some at all times helps lift a little bit of its weight. Then, in this tiny, tiny little bedroom, some stew and wine keep the honest conversation going between Rhysand and Feyre. She admits she would have shot Lucian if he tried to hurt Rhysand. I would have shot Lucian for no reason at all. He admits he would have respected her wishes if she would have taken Lucian's hand to go back to the Spring Court, but he also would have torn apart the world if Lucian had done it forcefully. He admits he wants Feyre, but can't properly bed her in this tiny, tiny little room. Hey, no harm in trying though, Rhysand, just saying. She admits to thinking about him and possibly even wanting him even before she left the spring court. On that note, she decides they should go to sleep and end the vulnerable conversation. But sleep they shall not! Feyre wants a distraction, so distraction Rhysand gives her. Wing foreplay turns into a finger bang, which turns into a night of sleep without nightmares for Feyre. And yes, I'm doing this scene such a disservice by describing it this way, so yes, you need to go reread it if you want all the steamy details. I wanted to point out that this chapter does in fact confirm what we were talking about last chapter, that Rhysand is the most powerful High Lord in Corinthians history. So last episode we were talking about like, did the High Lords where they used to be like more powerful? How did they create all these wards that have been still kept to this day? I think it's not necessarily the power of the High Lords that's important. I think it's the type of magic they're using. So I do think that maybe they had access to more magic back in the day.
That's a good point. But also, it does just say Prithian's history. And we know that there's tons of other places around there. So, with different, Fey strongholds.
A strongholds. In this chapter, Feyre states that Tamlin had ignored her letter, and I was just thinking to myself, actually, I think he did the exact opposite, and that's why he had Lucian track her down in the woods.
Like how like what we brought up in that episode. Like how did you really think he was going to read this and be like, "Yep, that sounds good. All right, I'll let her go."
I mean, when Lucian finds her, he thinks he's saving her. He's like convinced himself that she's in this terrible peril and that she needs rescuing.
Also, like when Feyre left the spring court the last time, at least Lucian knew she could not read or write. So you get this letter that all of a sudden is from Feyre that says, "I'm fine, don't bother." If I'm Lucian, I am telling Tamlin, yeah, that's not her. I was almost killed because
Good
she couldn't read a
point.
sentence. So we gotta go find her.
That's great.
Which one is green? The snake or the rabbit? Oh, I can't read it. Dear God. What do I do?
We love an inn with only one room. This goes across every book ever written with a romance.
Only one bed.
One
bed,
in an
one room,
attic?
no couch.
and
You know you're asking for it.
no fireplace for heat. Whatever will they do?
Doesn't she say that like he goes downstairs to get food and she like turns around to change and knocks her knee in
Yeah,
the bed
just
frame?
the clumsiest
Like,
clothes changing
no room.
ever. She even says that if she would have like wanted to sleep on the floor, ask him to. There's not even room. You can walk in, you're on the bed, and then you're at the armoire. There's no space.
Where's proximity, man?
It will do something to you. It will do something to
It
you
will.
as a reader. It will do something to you as characters.
You're gonna have all the feelings out there, all the conversations, and then some. All the distractions that she's quote unquote asking for. But also, let's admit what's between them this whole time. Come on.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
Almost. So close, guys.
This is where I'm like, it's fair that Feyre has so much to wrestle with her, understanding how she's feeling about Tamlin. But I do like, finally in this chapter, she admits to herself, I did love Tamlin. A small part of me might always love Tamlin, but we are no longer each other's person, and that is okay. Huge growth.
You have to realize that it's time to move on. You have to realize that you guys don't fit anymore.
I can't imagine, not that they did it together, but she basically saved the world for this man together in a sense. And then all of a sudden your inner self is like, yeah, you're not gonna end up together though. So all that saving was not for naught, but it's gonna feel like it was for naught.
All that professing I'm doing this for love, you're just gonna get, stabbed right through that heart.
At least she admits, though, that, like, everything he showed her, everything he gave her, it was, in a sense, something she needed at the time. She's no longer that same person. She definitely didn't come out under the mountain the same. So, like, what's so wrong with learning to love even if you so-called loved her back then, why can't you still love her now?
Mm-hmm. Well, he just needs that specific person that needs to be protected because, once again, we've said it over and over. One person's growing and one person's stuck. Right now, he's always going to need to provide the type of protection that Feyre will just get smothered with. He needs someone to be able to accept it.
And
Yeah.
it's hard to love someone else when you can't even love yourself. It's almost
Yeah.
impossible. And I do not think Tamlin loves himself at all. He's doing a job he hates in a court that just makes him think of his horrible childhood. I just don't think he loves himself. So how is he ever gonna get to a point to love Feyre at this moment in the story?
If you can't love yourself,
It's
how the
almost like,
hell you going to love somebody else?
yeah.
Chapter 49. Feyre awakes safely in the cocoon of Rhysand's wings and held in his arms. She sees that Rhys is also awake, so she asks him why he made the bargain with her under the mountain. He answers, to make a statement to Amarantha, to piss off Tamlin, and to keep her alive in a way that wouldn't be seen as merciful. Feyre's only response was, oh. She realizes she was just a pawn in his game to protect his people. They flew most of that day, barely speaking to each other, then trained until the sun was about to set. As he took to the sky again, he was about to tell Feyre another story when 12 poisoned ash arrows hit Rhysand. Blinding pain goes down the bond as they plummet towards the ground. He throws her far from him as they fall so she doesn't get hit by any of the arrows. Feyre stops herself from completely hitting the ground with one of her shields and listens for Rhysand, but there is only silence. No sign of the archers that shot him either. Feyre tries talking through the bond, but no response there. Something primal awakens in her, and she becomes the very definition of, if they want to, they could. She is smoke, she is wind, she is a hunter. She travels from tree branch to tree branch and shapeshifts her eyes to see in the darkness, tracking until she finds the spot where Rhys fell. She discovers more ash arrows and that 24 had taken him. She follows Rhys' scent like a bloodhound until she finds where the 24 had split into two groups to try to throw her off, but they didn't account for her not only being able to track his scent, but her scent that was stuck to him after last night. So she tracks into the mountains until she finds a guarded cave. She can hear a whip being used and quickly makes two makeshift daggers with the ash arrows. Then she becomes what I can only picture as the Angel of Death. She winnows and stabs until every last one is dead. Covered in blood, she finds Rhysand and unhooks him from chains that are noted as feeling wrong. He's weak and can't winnow them home, so she decides to winnow both of them to a cave she saw earlier. It's a tough trip, but she manages. Once they arrive, she realizes she has to take the ash arrows out of his wings before the poison spreads, but the only way to do this is by cutting each arrow out. Buckle up, Rhys, 'cause this is gonna hurt. She begins to do so, and to distract Rhys from the horrid pain, she tells the story of when she painted the drawers of her dresser at home. Flowers for Elaine, no fruits or vegetables, flames for Nesta, and a night sky for herself. She says she never knew why she painted the night sky, but now she wonders if somewhere deep inside of herself she always knew she would end up with Rhys and his inner circle, that she was always looking for them. Rhysand stills. She finishes taking out the last arrow, and Rhysand explains that was Hybern soldiers with chains that nullified his powers. With his last breath, before sleep takes him, he says, I was looking for you too. I pictured, if you've ever seen, what's the Harry Potter, not Harry Potter, but the creatures one? Oh, Fantastic
Fantastic
Beasts and Where
Beasts.
to, yeah. The kid in that, when he can't control his power because he doesn't know it, he like turns into this like black fog that like destroys anything it touches, and it's like going through the town destroying things, and he can't control it. I almost see in this scene Feyre as that, like this just black mist that's just like destroying every single thing it touches because she's just such a little smoke cloud of emotion.
Except she's very much just taking these guys out like a badass ninja of Cloud.
Yeah,
She knows what she's doing,
she's very much in control.
which I think is crazy. She's once again using several different powers that we've never seen her use before, all in tandem and by
Yeah.
instinct.
I think it helps that she's like claimed the power as her own too. Like I think it's the chapter before this, she's like, wait, no, this isn't that High Lord's power. This is now my power. So she's able to use it more effectively.
It's chapter 45 because she like does not want to be used as a pawn. Yeah, she wants to
Yep.
make it something new.
She's using the water power, and then she's like, and then it just clicked. I felt it, and I turned it to horsefrost, or however you say that. I can't ever say that right. Hoarfrost?
Did you say horse frost?
The type of frost that's like so cold that it will burn you.
She thinks that Nesta and, and Elaine would love Valaris. She thinks Amryn and Nesta would get on greatly, which is hilarious. And then she even says that she thinks that Elaine would cling to Asriel, even if it's for just the peace and quiet.
I liked that part, but I think it's hilarious that she thinks Amryn and Nesta will get along so well. And like,
Right.
Nesta is a rough one, and Amryn likes you. Amryn has claimed you,
Yeah.
and the way Nesta treats you, Amryn's not going to be about that, no matter how old she
Well,
is.
and you can almost see Nesta and Amryn butting heads. Like, you think Mor and Amryn butt heads every now and then now, or as we've seen a little bit in Feyre's time with them, but no, I think Amryn and Nesta kind of match for match.
It's pronounced hoarfrost.
Oh, thank God.
It's
Yeah.
I
just
just said it wrong the
it
first time.
it's HOAR frost.
Yeah.
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 If you look up how to pronounce it though, and you just do Google, it really is funny how they spell like frost. It's like frost. It's FRAAST.
Roused.
Mm.
Frost. That's my
Anyway,
question.
she does that and she changes it, and she's like, no, neither High Lord can do this. This is me specifically. I'm the only one that can do this with this power.
I never realized it's back-to-back chapters where it talks about like Rhysand sensitivity on his wings when they're doing like the foreplay in the end. And then this next chapter, he's getting literally like 12 arrows shot at him in his wings. So it's just like, can you imagine the pain? It's so sensitive. That hurt.
Anything anything with wings, I feel like is used in that kind of like sensitivity nature. Like any books, like if you have angels and demons, or if you have, in this case, Illyrian fighters that have wings, like it doesn't matter what it is, it's always described the same, and that's why it can bring like sexual pleasure and sensual, kind of sensitivity, but at the same time it's brutal because it always is used against them too, in this perfect example of being shot through
Yeah.
and destroyed.
And thinking about that, they cut off the women's and they put
Yes.
their women through that pain, even though they know.
I can't keep going down this
I'm
hole.
sorry.
Jenna, you can't keep inciting this anger in
I'm
me.
sorry.
The last thing I was just gonna say is she painted those damn drawers, and based off what those drawers are painted as, Elaine is ending up at the Sprite Court. You can't convince me otherwise. I don't know how. I don't know when.
I swear, like, Tamlin's gonna leave. He's gonna be like, you can have the manor, you can have the court. Goodbye, I want nothing to do with it. Hopefully it's not like he dies and we have to feel bad and all that kind of jazz. But like, I don't think she's gonna end up with Lucian. I think she's gonna probably choose herself. It's gonna be one of those situations. I don't know this 100%, but that's just my
Yes, you
prediction.
do.
I just know that
I
when
mean, we'll see.
the scene where Feyre comes back and there's all these giant pink roses that have overtaken the art room, I was just like, oh, it's Elaine's court. This is Elaine's court.
Yeah.
Immediately.
If I'm gonna get a book
What if
up,
Elaine died?
Oh my God.
oh my God.
Since she's like the oracle, I could see that being like such a complicated mess.
I
That'd be
just think
crazy.
the best possibility is you put Lucian, Tamlin, and Elaine in just the Spring Court, and then like just for 5 chapters, give them a story, and then we just move on. We move out of there. We leave their story.
You think it's a thruple?
Are you shipping those two together though? Like
Shipping all
Tamlin
three,
and
honestly. The
Elaine?
way that Lucian loves
Oh,
Tamlin,
okay.
and then Tamlin could possibly love Elaine,
I
and then
see.
Elaine loves herself. Just like it doesn't matter if they're in a
Oh, that makes
relationship,
sense.
just put them in a house together. let them rule a court, let Tamlin run through um, the gardens, I don't know, in his beast form.
The
I just don't want to read.
way you paused there was just.
I just don't want to read a whole book about either of those three. And I just, in the pit of my tum-tum, I just feel like that's exactly what I'm going to have to read, is a book about at least one of those three.
SJM universe spoiler, if you can get through the Kale book, you can get through the Tamlin Elaine Lucian book that we all know is coming. But I think Az is going to have a big part in it too, and I'm here for my little Azzy boy.
I understand that Kale was an important part of that story, I guess you could argue. I just wish that his wheelchair would have just fallen right off that Tower of Dawn. That's all I'm going to say.
I wish Irene had been like, no, fuck you, stay crippled then, you little bitch.
Yeah.
And then
I do not like complainers. I just don't like people that complain. And Kale's the definition of a complainer. I'm a sad little human boy that can't walk anymore. Yeah, but you're still in a world where they can make you walk again. And Irene loves you.
people
Irene,
died.
Irene.
You don't like when people
I'm begging
sulk in their
at you,
pity
please don't
or
heal
want that
my
pity.
man. Leave him crippled, leave him crippled, leave him crippled. Okay, sorry.
Yes, I do not like when people sulk. I don't like when any character does that.
The drawers thing was like a very highlighted moment for everyone
Oh,
who has
yeah.
finally read through this series.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome. It
Which
kind of makes me wonder, does she have a hidden power that we don't even know about? Because she can, like with her painting, like is that something more to that?
she's gonna be like Bowser Jr. and can like paint things and make them come alive.
Maybe.
Or I was thinking,
I like it.
another thing I was thinking is, where did the dad keep his clothes? And what would she have
His
painted?
clothes?
Yeah.
Oh,
What would she have painted that drawer? A
with
tombstone?
ships and sails, like water. I don't know.
Money.
'Cause that's all he seemed to care about was anything that brought him cash.
3 tombstones for his daughters that he allowed to die.
Ooh.
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 4. You got to count the mother.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah. Chapter 50. Well, they both made it through the night, but Rhysand's condition is worsening. Whatever poison coated those arrows was still within him and keeping him from healing. Feyre makes the decision to leave the cave to go find a cure. And how will she find a cure? By trapping the Suriel, of course. And man, oh man, are we happy to see the Suriel. A year is too long in between trappings. Feyre has 2 questions. What is the poison? The Suriel answers, Bloodbane. Then she asks, where do I find the cure? The Suriel answers, in the forest. Gotta love the sarcasm, well, except Feyre, who doesn't have time for this and asks, what is the cure impatiently? The Suriel answers, your blood. Give him your blood. Just a few mouthfuls should do the trick. Then the Suriel demands to be set free, and as the Suriel backs away to do so, it says, you can also give your mate these pink flowers closer to the river to help speed the healing process up. Feyre shoots the arrow to free the Suriel and is like, come again? What was that? Suriel's like, the High Lord of the Night Court is your mate. Feyre is shooketh. She asks if he knows. Suriel says yes. Feyre asks if he's known for a while. Suriel says yes. Feyre looks back to the cave, still very shooketh, where Rhysand is inside, and when she turns back to see the Suriel, it's gone. When she is back with Rhysand, she starts to give him the flowers and her blood, and despite him being injured, she is ready for answers. She tells him he can't ask questions and can only give answers, and he skeptically nods his head. She asks how long he's known they've been mates. Now it's his turn to be shooketh. He finally answers and says he suspected, but when she died while fighting Amarantha, he knew, and it snapped into place for him when he saw her on the balcony the next day. She asked when he was going to tell her. He said he didn't know when the right time would be. She was in love with Tamlin, then she was recovering from Tamlin, and then he knew being with him would be a lifetime of being hunted. She does not think this is a good enough answer, and neither do I. And her heart is breaking as she accuses him of making decisions for her like he knew what was best for her. She asks who else knows. He says Mor and Amren and Cassian and Az suspect. Feyre demands to be winnowed back to the Illyrian camp. Rhysand definitely has more to say, but does as she says. They winnow away. The cereal obviously only gets trapped by people that they want to be trapped by. And even the first time that Feyre trapped it allowed it to happen. Because also the cereal
Yeah.
very easily could have killed Feyre here. She shoots the arrow to release it, and then they have a full-on conversation. They're besties.
They are still providing answers.
Yeah.
It does. The book calls the surreal a he.
This is where I will say, SJM Universe spoiler, you cannot convince me that that cereal is a he. It is the girl from Tog, whose name escapes me every time we talk about this.
Altane.
Yep. And I don't care what anyone else says. I don't care if SJM comes out and says that it is not her, it is her. Why else is that cereal obsessed with cloaks?
It is a good connection, and I really like thinking that that's the truth.
You cannot have two cloaked obsessed people in two different series and not have a connection. And I stand by that.
There's so many connections across her worlds. That's what, like, it's brilliant.
There's
too many similarities.
I really like that the surreal starts like playing with her and like doing these little taunting answers, and then she's like, dude, I get it, but also I need you to be serious and just tell me what the fuck to do. And the surreal's like, oh, girl, okay. I'm sorry. I thought we were doing that fun FaceTime. This is a serious moment. All right. I got you. I'll lock in. And then when she goes to release it, she's like, this is another test. It just wants to see if I'll release it again because it could definitely get out of it's the same trap. It could get out of this. It knows what to do now. If I surprised it last time, I didn't surprise it this time.
Yeah, you can't tell me that the cereal did not know that it was dropping a bomb by saying, "Hey, you're me." You know, I said that so casually, but you looking at me like,
Didn't
oh,
know.
he hasn't told you yet? Shit.
Oh, you didn't know though?
Now the question of probably the episode: did Rhysand do the right thing? Do you think there is a good time for him to tell her, if you had to choose and you're Feyre, when would you have chosen that he tell her?
I think he was about to do the right thing when his wings got shot out. Like, that is just the most unfortunate timing. And then even their bond was blocked, so they couldn't talk mind to mind after that. I understand why he didn't tell her, and I sort of agree because she didn't need to deal with another thing like that or feel like he's forcing her into it by having her around. He wants it to be her choice, so he's giving her the space for that to happen.
He wanted her to be able to heal and make the choice on her own, but also come to the realization that there's obviously something between them, but he wants to be chosen, not just... I think he would be happy with whatever she's given him, but at the same time, when was he going to tell her? I don't know.
I also totally would have been just as pissed as Feyre. Immediately stormed in there, immediately acted exactly the same way, left his dying ass in the frozen mud. I would have done all of that. Righteous.
At least she brings him back. And she's like, hey, your friends got you? Good. Okay, now I'm gone.
Righteous anger. Absolutely. But I also see not wanting to drop that bombshell on a human who's just been turned into a fae, who's now left her boyfriend that she saved the world for and killed people for, and is throwing up and having nightmares and losing weight, and I don't know.
This is where I was
the good guy.
I was gonna say the best time for me, in my opinion, would have been on the balcony. I already saved the world. I'm already turned into a fae. I have a ton on my plate. Why not just keep the truth bombs coming? I already have a ton to process. You telling me that you're my mate is just going to add to the load. It's not going to necessarily stand out. Like, I've got already a ton to process. Also, if someone was my mate and they did not tell me, I would just be so pissed. I'd be like, how was I supposed to know?
That's why she's questioning, like, why she kept thinking about him, and to the point where it was like, it was interfering with the time that she was at quote unquote home in the spring court.
I also feel bad for Rhys though, because he felt it snap into place, and she felt something too, and she felt his mood change, and she felt all of that as well. But being very newly Fey and having mates mentioned to you one time, you're not going to know the gravity of the situation. So, yeah, that would have been a great time for him to just be like, you know, that little thing, this is what just happened. But remember, Reese has just had super traumatic stuff happen to him too. He hasn't had time to process everything, and then he gets hit with that, and he's
Yeah.
just gonna blurt it out. I don't know. I
I'm
feel
not
like
I'm not
everything's unfair about this situation.
I'm not saying that I don't understand why Rhysand. This was a lose-lose situation. You tell her too soon, she gets scared,
Yeah.
she runs straight into Tamlin's arms. You tell her too late, she gets scared, she runs straight into Tamlin's arms. There are several scenarios here where she can run into Tamlin's arms. And so I understand the fear around it. I'm saying for me personally, I would rather just load the cart, fill it with all the stuff I have to process all at one time. Let's just get it done, rip the band-aid. So that would be my personal preference. Would I grow to learn how to forgive Rhysand if I was in Feyre's shoes at this point? Absolutely. That's my mate. I just wish I would have found out a lot sooner.
You know what would have been hilarious if when it happened on the balcony, he grabbed her hand, was like, "We need to have a little powwow," and brought her in front of Tamlin and been like, "This is what's going on."
Yeah. You think you love her. You don't love her as much as I do, I promise.
I promise. Now, also, I'm going to take her immediately for a week because I have
Yeah.
that, bargain. She's mine.
I love that he admits though that like he's suspected for a really long time. I swear nobody can convince me otherwise that he did not find her at that Calanmai on purpose. Like calling to like I'm sorry, there's just nothing you can tell me otherwise that's gonna convince me.
Calamari night was the best night ever. Calamari night.
Chapter 51. As Calamari Night plays in the no, Chapter 51. They land back in the Illyrian camp just outside Rhysand's mom's cabin. Rhysand struggling to stand up and Feyre storming off. Cassian and Moore run out. Cassian checks on Rhysand after he scans Feyre for injuries and finds none. Feyre asks Moore to take her away from this place where she can be alone. Moore stutters for a second, but then Feyre says please with a crack in her voice. Moore grabs her hand and they winnow to another cabin on top of a mountain. Moore tells Feyre this cabin was used for reflection when they were kids. No one except family is allowed in, and no one can winnow directly inside. The house will take care of her and stay warm for as long as she is there. Feyre asks Moore to not tell Rhysand where she is. Before leaving, Moore tells Feyre that Rhysand wanted to tell her but didn't know how. But he's the happiest she's ever seen him, and she doesn't think that's just because they're mates. Feyre does not want to hear it and basically says goodbye. Moore promises to come back in 3 days to check on her and leaves. Jenna, you texted it in our group text. I'm going to just kind of point it out as well. I love Moore for she's kind of taking care of both of them here. She's kind of like, okay, I can see Cassian's got that. I'm going to take care of Feyre. Girl code, she said please with a crack in her voice. We all know girl code, that means immediate attention. And so she's like, I'm going to get this girl to a place where she can process everything that just happened.
Even Cassian checking on her first.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't gonna let her just like sit there with injuries without like addressing them as well, while his best friend and High Lord is literally bleeding out right beside her too.
What a 180 for Feyre to experience, with Lucian on one hand saying just deal with it. Like, I can't even give you an hour out with me on the horsebacks. On the horsebacks? Anyway, make that
There's
sentence
more than
make
one
sense.
back of the horse, so yeah.
I can't even give you that. Like, you're just going to have to deal with it and be locked up here. And I can't even sit with you. I'm going to leave. To now, Cassian, who Rhys right now is the most important person to him in the world, pretty much. And he leaves him in the frozen earth to check on Feyre. And then Moore is actually family and chooses to help Feyre when she asks instead.
Yeah, she winnows to the cabin, and once like they're inside and have talked a second, she's like, "But he's okay though, right? Like he's gonna make it. Like, do I need to be winnowing immediately back?"
And she tells her
But
that the everything will work for Feyre. And Feyre's like, "Oh, is it because I'm his mate?" But I think it's because she's been accepted into the family.
It's a good friendship chapter. It's only 3 minutes long, so really the recap is exactly like reading. And it really is just a good, it's just the bond between Mora and Feyre.
she needed a friend,
Hmm.
but she also needed the family and love that she never experienced.
Yeah.
And that trauma bonding, I guess, between them, like they kind of know to look out for each other. They can ask questions later. They just want to give you what you need in the personal space. And she does. She literally shows her the house. She says, "No one will disturb you. Here's some clothes. Here's some food. Here's some. The fire will go out on its own because the house, is sentient enough to take care of you. But like at the end of the day, like take the time you need. Just please don't be dead when I come and check on you in 3 days.
Yeah.
Thanks."
Yeah. I want a log cabin like this that just feeds the fire,
Right.
takes care of me. If I say I want a cappuccino, I get a cappuccino. If I want stew. And once again, this whole chapter recap is just reinforcing how much these fantasy books make me just crave a good bowl of stew. I have just a little spotlight because I am on the socials a lot, and I saw a TikTok where this woman who owns a small business, decided to trademark the phrase hot girls read, a phrase that's been used for probably over a decade. It's just been put on things, thrown on things. Lots of small businesses do it. And it blew up. Like she trademarked this, and then people were like, "How dare you trademark that?" Then she started to like send cease and assist letters to small businesses that were using the phrase, but the book talk community banded together, commented enough in her social media and all that stuff that she is like I don't know how you do it or what it's called, but she's removing the trademark and was like, this was purely a business decision. I didn't think about the consequences in a human way and like all this stuff. And so I just thought it was funny because the book talk community was like, absolutely not. Hot Girls Read is free for everybody, and that phrase cannot be owned.
Yeah, it's like
Dang.
hot girl walk. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Let's
I went
go
down a rabbit hole.
communities. That's
Hmm.
that's good. I also feel a little bit sorry for the lady that was like, "I'm gonna do this," and put herself out there, and then everybody was like, "No, you're not."
It's like the girl whose name is Sierra Mist, and she decided to sue Sierra Mist and trademarked her own name. And then Sierra Mist wanted to pay her, but it wasn't enough. So then she declined it, and they went with a different name. What are they, like Starry now or something like that? And now she always talks about how she really wishes she would have taken the money.
Now let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening. Next week, we mean it this time, we will be stripping down chapters 52 through 60 in ACOMAF with a special guest we love having on the pod, author Heather Debris. Tune in every Tuesday on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts for new episodes, and be sure and hit that follow button to stay up to date on all things Book Thoughts.